Nonprofits around Metro Detroit are dealing with some tough challenges, including the threat of less federal funding. The Methodist Children's Home Society has provided foster care and other services for more than a century. CEO Kevin Roach tells WDET's Jerome Vaughn he's worried about losing federal aid.
The nonprofit sector, really the social services sector, is really facing some significant headwinds. And we see that playing out certainly in the headlines that we're reading, or certainly the bills that are coming out of Congress. And so the most recent one, H.R. 1, the big, beautiful bill, it certainly kind of exemplifies some of those headwinds or those challenges where private agencies or nonprofits are going to have fewer resources or fewer dollars to work with. They're going to certainly face more pressure to not necessarily go down or embrace diversity, equity, inclusion measures. They're going to be looking at fundamentally even changing their business model. Whether you are an agency that relies on Medicaid dollars or an agency that relies on HUD dollars, it's taking fewer resources and trying to tackle a problem that continues to grow and actually get bigger and more complex.
What are some of the strategies that you're looking at to deal with those additional challenges? I know you haven't had a lot of time with, the big, beautiful bill, and we'll see where it winds up. But what sorts of things are you doing to prepare for whatever's next?
Yeah, I think to that point, Jerome, that we know that the nonprofit sector is playing defense, trying to maintain funding, trying to do their best to ensure that there aren't interruptions and that it doesn't fundamentally change momentum in the programs and that we can still meet the needs of our clients. And so while we're playing defense, we also know that there's an opportunity to even go on the offense, right, and explore new partnerships, maybe non-traditional funding streams, and certainly enhance and engage our advocacy efforts, whether that's meeting with our lawmakers in their district or certainly going out to D.C. to make that case in terms of how the impact on the decisions that they're making, really the impact of the boots on the ground, right? How that's going to impact that family of four that's in Detroit, or that young person who is aging out of the foster care system in Oakland County, right? Or certainly that older adult who's just looking to make ends meet in Macomb County. Those are all issues that are connected to our program, and to certainly elevate their voices and help our lawmakers understand the devastating impact that if H.R. 1 in its current form passes through the Senate and makes its way to the president's desk, certainly how that's really going to make life even tougher for their constituents. And so while we're having those discussions and conversations with many of our lawmakers, both at the state and federal level, we're certainly exploring new partnerships, looking at working with other nonprofits to figure out how do we streamline services, how do we get in economies of scale, how do we still continue to meet this need, maybe in partnerships that we hadn't historically considered or really thought of. But really branching out to other sectors, right? Whether that's the medical community, the legal community, right? Even the business community, beyond just a fundraising component. But how do you guys join us in this effort to not only sustain these programs, but ensure that these underserved families and children don't get left behind or don't get forgotten?
Just one more question, and that is, we're at the Mackinac Policy Conference. You're here, I'm here. I know why I'm here. Why are you here? What are you hoping to get done while on the island?
Oh, there's a great checklist for us at our organization. And first and foremost, it's continue to elevate those issues with our lawmakers, to continue to push forward with strategies, because we know that H.R. 1 in its current form, and certainly what we expect the Senate to pass, certainly that's going to trickle down to the states. And as the state is having to make some really tough decisions, as they're working with fewer resources and potentially having to still absorb some of these significant cuts at the federal level, and you got to balance the budget doing all this. So first and foremost, we are meeting with so many lawmakers just to once again elevate these issues and really provide insight in terms of how this would negatively impact their constituents. But beyond that, right, it's still building up those relationships, seeing the familiar faces, getting that sense of encouragement that there are so many here at the Mackinac Policy Conference who fundamentally care about strengthening the community and elevating the lives of this next generation.
Kevin Roach is the CEO of the MCHS Family of Services. He spoke with WDET's Jerome Vaughn at the Mackinac Policy Conference last week.